Welcome everyone to an Ambrose Island review. I have to say, I'm very pleasantly surprised. As you can see, I've been able to complete it 100%. I did all the challenges, I got all the mastery for it, and we're gonna comment on all of those things. We're gonna give it a rating, see how good it is compared to other maps. Is it better in some ways? Is it worse in others? For starters, I have to say, this map being free is something that worried me in the start because I know IO has been charging ridiculous amounts of money for ridiculously horrible content. The 7 Deadly Sins, they were absolutely putrid. The escalations, most of them were horrible. The skins themselves, the suits, were absolutely just abysmal. So you would think that for a map, for a real quality map, they would charge us, they would charge us like there's no tomorrow, but no. The map is incredible. It's free, which is crazy to think that they haven't slapped us in the face like they're so used to doing. But no, it's free, it's great. It has so much freedom of approach. You're gonna see here, from the first time I did Sound Assassin's Shoot Only, I did it from here. I went forward. Now I'm gonna go to the left and I'm gonna go from the other side. But on top of that, you can also from the other side of the island, you can also sneak in there two different ways as well. So I mean, think about that. Just this compound alone, you have 4 different ways to get into it. And it's all Silent Assassin's Shoot Only friendly. It's all Silent Assassin's Shoot Only possible, which is unheard of. I mean, that is so crazy that they've actually finally given us a map that you have that freedom of approach. This map learns from some of the old mistakes that they've done. It does learn from some of them, but also it repeats a lot of the older mistakes, like Sapienza. The whole thing with with Wilton Creek, the whole thing with Sapienza was that the maps themselves weren't bad, but the objectives were a chore, and people didn't want to do the objectives over and over again. And you would think with Chong Inc., being optional after you do it the first time, that they have learned their lesson, but apparently they haven't, because it's still a permanent objective. And just like the bank, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can either hack the satellite yourself and destroy it, or you can collect 2 keycards. Just like the bank, it's the same thing, really, except it was 3 there, it's 2 here. However, just like the bank, you're almost never gonna be taking the keys. Every single time you're gonna be going for the satellite because it's just more convenient. Akka, when she is taken down, you can take one of the keys from her. However, Orson is the other one who has the key, and he's on the other end of the map. By the time you get to him, by the time you knock him out and take the key, you might as well. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It should have been done better than that, in my opinion, and it does become a chore doing some methods, because you're just going to be so far away from where that satellite is, and you're going to have to run all the way there over again, which is just unnecessary. The whole thing with Sapienza, again, it was like they should have learned their lesson, but they haven't. And the map itself, I'm not even talking about the targets, just the map itself, in my opinion, this is as good as you can get. This map is brilliant. There's so many ways to get from point A to point B, freedom of approach. It's bigger than Berlin, it's bigger than Chongqing, it's bigger than anywhere. It is superb. There's so many things you can do, and so many things you can do Silent Assassin's Shoot Only, which is what really sort of piques my interest, which is what really sort of sells it for me. So yeah, it's absolutely, it's perfection. When it comes to the map, in my opinion, it's perfection. Not talking about the targets, just the map, absolutely perfect. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's as good as you can go, honestly. It's just great. Now let's talk about the targets. Akka herself is great. She can be isolated in a multitude of different ways. You can take her down from the hostage place all the way to her office. We can also take her out on the way there. There's really a lot of things we can do. Sniper Assassin is possible, not necessarily Silent Assassin Sniper Assassin from what I found, but Sniper Assassin is doable. And it is a real sniper assassin. You're not gonna shoot him from like 3 feet away, like you would on some other maps, because there's no other option. You can do actually a good old-fashioned sniper assassin on this map, so that's good. Crest, he's not as isolatable, but he is very easy to assassinate. There's many different ways, from getting him with a cigarette when he wants to talk to you after the slapping contest, to getting him with electricity, to poisoning his food, and you can isolate him there once you poison his food as well. So there's a lot of things you can do. Sound substitute only. It is, in my opinion, the targets are pretty damn good. But again, we get to the objective, and this is where we fall short. This is where, again, we're doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just a chore. Like, I can't understand why they had to do it like this. Every time they show that they've learned something, they just go back and prove us that they haven't, and I don't get it. In my opinion, that does drag the map down a little bit. Even though there's 2 ways of getting the satellite, in reality, sound substitute only, there's only one. Because no one's gonna waste their time going to Orson. That's ridiculous. He's way too far away. He takes far too much time to get. It's just not even remotely worth it. So, as far as the targets go, I would give the targets an 8.5 out of 10. I think they're pretty good, but again, they should have learned from their previous mistakes. They really should have. Now, when it comes to the challenges, which is what you're gonna be doing in order to get the map up, I found them very, very quick and very easy to do. I mean, especially some of them were spectacularly fast. A pirate's life for me is the only one that actually is like really lengthy and can be problematic, because there's 4 places where you gotta set up fire, and there's just a lot of things to do. A bridge too far also took a very long time. Just for him to come to the bridge, it takes like 5 minutes alone. It just takes so much time. But all the other ones were quick. They were very fast and very simple and easy to do. Other than the pirate and the bridge, they were a breeze to get through. And these stuff all as well. I mean, most of them are exits. There's very little things to get in the way, really. It was very, very quick. The feats also very fast, very simple. Nothing to complain about. The guy with the flowers, Nature's Bounty, he can be a little tricky, because you have to know exactly where the flower is, you have to know exactly where the frogs are. So the flowers in the jungle, there's only one, but the frogs are where the satellite is. So that's where we're gonna find him. But yeah, overall, I have to say the challenges were a breeze. I got through them almost in no time. Like, they were probably some of the best in the game, and I would easily give them a 9 out of 10. I think that's definitely a fair assessment. They were pretty damn good. Getting with the unlocks, we're starting off with a machete. Not a useful gadget by any means. You're gonna have to bring it in a briefcase or an agency pickup. You can't hide it. Absolutely not optimal, absolutely not useful. Some people are gonna like it because it's a machete and it's cool, but as far as the game is concerned, it's not useful. Then we get this SMG. It doesn't have a silencer on it. It's a loud weapon. Not particularly useful for anything. There's a better version that we already have. In fact, I think we have multiple better versions, so there's no reason to waste your time on it. We get the hook. The hook, you know, much like a knife or a screwdriver, it's a melee. It's not horrible, it's not great, it's just a regular lethal melee item that you can use. In middle of the road at best, it's, you know, it's okay for what it is. Then we get the SMG. SMG's not silenced, doesn't have anything going for it. Completely worthless unlock. You're never gonna bring it, you're never gonna use it. It's just there because it's better than nothing, I guess, but overall, chances are you're never gonna bring it for anything. Bone lockpick, I don't know who's the genius who came up with that design, but some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it. By this point, you should have already multiple lockpicks unlocked, so they shouldn't change anything for you. But, you know, it's better than nothing. Some people are gonna like it. You know, having a lockpick is never really a bad thing necessarily, so I can see the appeal of it to some people. For me personally, it's okay. Then we get to the emetic grenade. This is great. It's optimal, it is useful. Overall, the emetic briefcase and the seeker are both gonna be better. However, this in certain situations is gonna do you very good. It has its moments where an emetic gas grenade can definitely, it can get you exactly what you need. Depending on the run, depending on the map, but it is a useful tool. Unlike the other ones, this is a tool that you can actually do some damage with. Then we get to the suit. The suit itself, I wish the brown was camo. Like the camo from the pants, instead of the brown on the top, they made it camo. So it would have matched. I think that would have made the suit a lot better. It is a reskin, obviously, of the wetsuit. I don't particularly love it, I don't particularly hate it. I think it's okay for what it is, but I'm not gonna be losing my mind over it in terms of playing as it. However, knowing what they've been giving us as far as the greedy DLCs, I think it's as good as we can get. Molotov Cocktail, this is broken, this isn't good, this is above, this is insane. Like, this is a speedrunner's wet dream. You can kill your targets through walls, you can kill your targets through roofs, through ceilings. It's a silent assassin kill, even if the kill gets noticed, you're still gonna keep your silent assassin. It is absolutely insane how IO allowed this item to exist inside of Hitman 3. I think this item and the emetic gas grenade are pretty much the only saving grace as far as the mastery, as far as the unlockables. However, they're both very, very good. The wetsuit is fine and the lockpick is fine. So overall, if I had to judge the unlockables, I would give them a 7.5 out of 10. I think that's fair because there's only a couple of things that are actually useful. Now it's time to talk about the in-game stability, meaning if the map has any glitches, any bugs, any sort of technical issues and difficulties that take away from it. And the answer is yes, and I have found a couple, and this is just my own personal experience. You know, everybody's experience tends to be different, so I don't know what the rest of the player bases went through. I really don't know, I haven't seen that many, but for me personally, one time I restarted and I had a non-target killed, even though it'd been only 15 seconds into the game, so I don't know how that happened. Also, I found out that when you go into the hostage room, if you have to, you know, wait for the second hostage, the one who has a bag on his head, to leave the cage. However, if you activate the electricity and the water pumps while he is still in the room, even though he's already outside the cage, he can basically freeze and not exit the room. And when he doesn't exit the room, he doesn't get caught. And that prevents Aka from coming into the room and getting electrocuted. So that's a problem as well that I've sort of found. In general, that hostage room seems to be a little... It seems to have some technical difficulties when it comes to the AI. Aka's phone call also tends to be a little uncertain. Sometimes it can happen almost instantly. Other times it can take up to 30 seconds or a minute. That does change quite a bit because she ends up in a different location when the call takes place. So there are some faults with it. Other than the one time where I got a non-target killed, which no clue how that happened. For the most part, they're not game-breaking bugs, they're not horrible bugs. It's nowhere near Haven Island. Let me just say that. It's nowhere near as bad as Haven Island. It's nowhere near as bad as some of the other maps that we've had. Overall, it is a brand new map. I'm certain that some of these issues are probably going to get fixed. They're going to get addressed. And overall, the score will increase, but as it is right now, I think the best I can give it is about maybe an 8 out of 10, and that's being generous. And with that, basically we add it all together and we come up with the final score. That score is a 4.3 out of 5. Pleasantly surprised. In my opinion, this is an excellent map. It has been absolutely wonderful covering it. I've had so much fun playing it, honestly. And I think with some bug fixes, with some small adjustments, it's only gonna get better. Of course, that is my opinion. Let me know in the comments what is yours. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content, and thank you very much for watching.